The DJI Pocket 3 is one of the best-selling cameras that we have in the market. And this other one is the new Insta360 X5, which is perhaps the best 360 degrees camera that you can get right now. Now, I want to be clear that these are different type of cameras that will give you different results. So in this video, I want to show you what is different in terms of video quality, low light performance, and other important details that you should consider if you're thinking to get one or the other. And before we start, I want to mention that this video is not sponsored by Insta360 or DJI. With the DJI Pocket 3, you are going to get a camera that is attached to a mechanical gimbal, but this system can be more fragile than other cameras, so you need to be more careful when you're using it, and besides, it's not waterproof. There is a big touch-enabled color screen that you can rotate to a horizontal or vertical position, which can quickly set if you want to shoot in portrait or landscape mode. And for selfie videos, you can flip the camera around by pressing the joystick 3 times. The Insta360 X5 is this camera that is waterproof down to 15 meters. It also has a big display that is touch-enabled, and this can record 360 videos because it has one lens on each side of the camera. They have this round design that makes them a bit easy to break or scratch, but if that happens, you can buy a lens replacement kit for about $30. It comes with everything that you need, and it's very easy to replace the lens by yourself, and I recommend to get one of these instead of using the lens protectors that Insta360 sell. Now, being able to record everything around you is a big advantage because this is going to let you reframe and select the composition that you want after you've shot your videos. And you can do this as many times as you want. So, for example, you can have one video facing forward, another one facing yourself, or in any other direction. When it comes to the video quality, there are many things that we need to talk about. The Insta360 X5 can record using a high resolution of 8K, but most people don't know that this is for the entire video shot at 360 degrees, which looks more like a round video like this one, but most of the time, people will need to select a portion to turn that round video into a flat one. And doing so, a big portion of the 8K that was used is going to be gone. In many ways, the video quality is going to look much better than on the X3 or the X4. And this is because the X5 has a bigger sensor and a triple AI chip that will help to improve your videos. But this high resolution of 8K can only record up to 30 frames per second. And for those who like to record using 60 frames per second, you will need to drop your resolution down to 5.7K. But as I said before, this means that after you frame your composition, your final video will have a much lower resolution. So in other words, you are never going to get 8K after you reframe your video. With the Pocket 3, you are going to be able to record in 4K, real 4K. The larger sensor compared to the X5 is going to give the Pocket 3 an advantage when it comes to the final video quality. And in my opinion, the colors look more pleasing to the eye, maybe in part because it can record with 10-bit colors, and it also doesn't have that HDR effect that the X5 has, even though I had that feature off on videos like the ones that you're looking at. And for more advanced users, the Pocket 3 can also record using V-Log-M, which is going to make it more flexible if you want to color grade in post. Something to consider if you want to vlog with these cameras is that the X5 is going to have a wider field of view, which can be useful in some cases, but can create some distortion that is not so pleasing. There is a field of view that can do a good job to minimize this, but will crop the video for this to happen. And if you pay attention to these video clips, you are going to notice that with the X5, almost everything is going to be focused. Where on the Pocket 3, if you get closer to your subject, the background is going to be a bit out of focus. This is actually something that a lot of people are looking for, but I know that other users don't enjoy this effect, and it's not something that you can turn off if you want to. The Pocket 3 can also record in 4K using 60 frames per second in regular video mode, or you can select the slow motion mode to record using 120 frames per second. Higher than that is going to be in 1080p, and honestly, the video quality is not too good. For low light conditions, the Pocket 3 has a special video mode that is going to lift the shadows to bring up the details, and it will apply a denoiser at the same time. The X5 has a similar mode called Pure Video, which is a very nice upgrade from the X4. I think that for social media it's going to be good, but the size of the sensor is going to be a limitation. The bigger sensor on the Pocket 3 is going to make a big difference even if you're not using the low light video mode. And I can say that this camera can do a good job even on cloudy days, for example, where there isn't a lot of light. For the video stabilization, these cameras do have a different system. The gimbal on the Pocket 3 can do a very good job and it will keep the horizon straight, but it does have some movement limitations. The X5 has an electronic stabilization, so everything is done inside the camera, and it does a very good job with no movement limitations, and it also doesn't seem to have the motion blur effect that some action cameras have when they use an electronic stabilization, which can be very annoying. Another feature that I like on the Pocket 3 is the active tracking, which allows the camera to track a person or an object that you select. The tracking is very good and is going to be useful for those who want to record videos by themselves. Orbit shots around something can also be easier to use with this feature, and honestly, you can give the Pocket 3 to someone that doesn't have a lot of experience, and the tracking is going to do the difficult part, which is keeping the subject in the frame. The X5 also offers the option to track someone or something using the Insta360 app. This is something that I like to use because most of the time it helps to keep your subject inside the frame without having to edit too much. The only problem here is that if something gets in the way, even for a second, the tracking is going to stop because it doesn't know how to look for the subject again. So you have to manually adjust the framing, and that is time consuming. The tracking on the Pocket 3 is not perfect either, but for the most part, is going to be able to ignore obstacles and keep tracking your subject. Now let's talk about battery life and overheating. The battery on the Pocket 3 will last for about 2.5 hours using 4K videos. The big drawback that some users have been complaining about is that the battery is not replaceable. So if you need to use it for many hours, you can get this battery handle that you can attach at the bottom of the Pocket 3. If you buy the Creator Combo, you are going to get one, or you can buy it as an accessory. It doesn't have a lot of power. I mean, it will only charge the main battery of the Pocket 3 up to 60%, and they are a bit expensive. So I always carry this power bank with me, which can fully charge the Pocket 3 6 or 7 times, and it's not too heavy or too expensive. On the X5, using 8K to record, the battery will last for 1 hour and 40 minutes. It supports fast charging, and perhaps the most important aspect is that this is replaceable, so you can buy extra ones for around $45. The X5 also has a battery saver mode that will let you record for 3 hours and 10 minutes. But this is not going to let you record in 8K, and you won't be able to use HDR or pure video for low light conditions. So this is a basic mode to record in 4K or 5.7K using 30 frames per second. And this is great to save some power, but I highly recommend to record using 8K to get the most out of this camera. I also did some testing on the Pocket 3 and the X5 for overheating using the maximum resolution and highest settings without any airflow or air conditioning. The Pocket 3 did not have any issues whatsoever, and the Insta360 at 8K also had no issues, but it does overheat at 50 minutes if you record using the InstaFrame mode. This is a video mode that records a 360 video and a flat video at the same time. It's a lot going on for the camera, even though these two videos are not using the maximum resolution. And then The X5 also overheats at around 1 hour and a half using 5.7K at 60 frames per second. The internal microphone on both cameras are going to be good enough for everyday videos. It seems to me that the audio level is a bit lower on the Insta360 X5, and this might be because this has this wind guard that goes on top of the internal microphone. But this is actually a great feature because it's going to reduce the wind noise, where the internal microphone on the Pocket 3 is not going to be so effective in those situations.
Like, we're not supposed to be using HDR on the X5, so that should make a difference. I gotta double check on the settings. But yeah, this is super noisy. We'll see about that. We're not supposed to be using HDR on the X5, so that should make a difference. I gotta double check on the settings. But yeah, this is super noisy. We'll see about that.
If you want better results, you can buy a wireless microphone for these two cameras. DJI has a few options like the DJI Mic 2 or the Mic Mini, and if you want to save some money, you can buy the transmitter by itself, which you can connect directly with the X5, the Pocket 3, and other cameras as well. At the end of the day, I believe that these are two amazing cameras. They are meant for a different type of users, and I do recommend the Insta360 X5 for those who want to record in 360 degrees. You won't have to worry about the composition, and you're going to have some freedom to reframe later on the phone or your computer. And you can do that as many times as you want with a single video to get multiple angles. The Pocket 3, even though it feels like it's more fragile, it is a good option for those who truly care about having a higher image quality in the day and in low light situations. But the bottom line is that choosing one or the other should depend on what you want to achieve. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Don't forget that the links to these products are going to be down below, and using any of them will support this channel. But you can also say hello and give this video a like. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye.